Entertaining battles there in the Minimax pre-final, but we get underway with pre-final number 3. It's for Junior Rotax this time, and following on for qualifications, no amendments needed to the grid, and here it is as follows. So it is an all-Belgian front row with Thomas Martins in the 255 and double race victor from yesterday, Kai Gielets in the 274. Follow that up with Tim Gerhards and Lucas Schoenmakers in the 205 and the 210 respectively, the two other title protagonists after the first day that marked the halfway point of the season. Joip Briefeld in the 212 and Matthijs Turlo in the 242. They complete row number 3. Christian de Klein in the 299 and Max Knappen from the 248 complete the top 4 rows, with Colin van Lammeren in the 263 and Gilles Clouet in the 221 completing the top 10. Completing the 18-strong starting order will be Luc Nielsen in the 275, Nick Gerhards in the 206, Johi Schoens in the 226, the 297 of Rune de Broeke, Olivier Jonkers in the 222, Tern Schmidt in the 267 with Sam Bergstein in the 219, and Jens van der Eyden starting in 18th in the 254. The sunshine once again graces us with its presence before it quickly sneaks behind the cloud cover that is being blown across the circuit in the direction of the where the drivers are driving up the Europlan, adjacent to parallel to road-going traffic. It's actually blowing the other way. So 13 minutes on the clock are set in stone, ready to count down the minute we go racing, as the field now starts to concertina through turn number 8. So it will be Martins on pole, Gielets in second, behind them will be Tim Gerhards, Lucas Schoenmakers, Joip Briefeld, Matthijs Turlo, Christian de Klein, Max Knappen, Colin van Lammeren and Gilles Clouet, who complete the top 10 positions. Drivers weaving, trying to, in some respects, sort of focus themselves and get themselves steeled and ready for battle that is about to commence very, very shortly. The two leaders lead the field coming out of turn number 11. So, red lights on the starting gantry. We are about to get things underway well and truly in Junior Rotax as we head towards the second half of what's been an enthralling Junior Rotax campaign so far. They come through the final corner. They split. They go into the tram lines. The accelerators are pressed down to the floor. They are off and away. We are good to go racing. And it's a great start from Thomas Martins, as there was a bit of a tank slapper there for Gilles Clouet. Everyone trying to make their way through turns 2 and 3 for the first time. Some drivers using the runoff area, which you can do on lap number 1. But Thomas Martins has gotten away like a scolded cat. Kai Gielets has actually dropped down the order a couple of places, at the very least I think probably 3rd position for the 274, as it is all elbows out towards the bottom part of the top 12, let alone the top 15, as the whole field now tries to navigate its way through turn 7, which they all successfully do. Now through into turn 9 they come, and down towards turn number 10. Looks like Tim Gerhards has managed to get his way up into second position behind Thomas Martins. Schoenmakers now has got past Gielets, who's in 4th place, and then Matthijs Turlo, who had a disaster in the final yesterday, as Jens van der Eyden looks to be making up a few places in the process. So after lap 1, Martins leads from Tim Gerhards, Lucas Schoenmakers, Kai Gielets, who started on the front row, now drops behind his JJ Racing teammate. So other drivers that have made up positions: Turlo, Knappen, Nielsen, de Klein, van der Eyden and Briefeld. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Van der Eyden on the first lap alone has got up halfway past the order. And now he's going to try and go up the inside Banzai past Christian de Klein through turn 7 and makes it up to P8. Great job by the 254, who's absolutely flying at the moment. Thomas Martins has set the fastest lap of the race so far, but is now coming under pressure. Tim Gerhards up the inside through turn 10. Martins tries to do the switchback, but Schoenmakers comes from absolutely nowhere to pounce past them. And then Martins tries to go towards the outside of turn 12. Gerhards gets back into lead, but Kai Gielets comes in And now this is fast emerging to be a six-way scrap for the lead, as it's nearly 2 by 2. Hurrah, as they come across the start-finish line. It is anyone's guess who is going to come out on top, and it's Matisse Turlo who's trying to get past Relitz through turn 2. Schoenmaker is now back up into second. No, make that Martins as they clash wheels. Oh, Schoenmaker gets forced a little bit wide going through into turn 5. Oh my goodness me, someone get the defibrillator on standby. Wow, we have got a battle on our hands, and it's a battle royale if it was a manga comic in Japan. Oh, a little bit of a tussle there. Martins nearly got spat sideways onto the exit of turn 7, but managed to keep a hold of it. Turlo not too far behind, but then gets pounced on by Kai Hilitz, who gets up the inside back into 4th position, goes to 274. So much juxtaposing, like it's going out of fashion, as the I think that was the 275 of Luke Neeson that ran wide. Jens van der Eyden now up from stone dead last, 18th place up into 7th as we go on to lap number 4. But Tim Gerhards has absolutely bolted away like the prime racehorse and has got a gap of 1.846 seconds. Knappen up into 2nd, Martins 3rd, Rille Schoenmaker is now down into 5th. Matisse Turlo down into 6th place. Van der Eyden now gets past Turlo going into turn 5. So that is a gain of 12 positions in 3.5 laps. Calvin de Groot also trying to factor into this, but Colin van Lammeren, Calvin de Groot and seniors, my apologies there. Colin van Lammeren looking very racy in 8th place. Christian de Klein not having the greatest day in the office and has been closed in by the twin brother of the current leader, Tim Gerhards. It's Nick Gerhards in the 206. Those wondering about how you can differentiate them when they're running the same liveries, Alex. Well, you look at the helmet design of Nick and it's bright fluorescent yellow, whereas Tim has gone for a more traditional Dutch orange. So the drivers now making their way through the order as Nick Gerhards gets up the inside, not just of Turlo, but also of Decline, and he has to use the runoff area, as does Turlo. As, Turlo spun around sideways, 90 degrees to the left, and he goes rally crossing, and that has dropped him way down on the field. And straight away, he was completely disappointed there. Despondency showing. The head, like, literally, it was like, oh, that's really knackered my race, hasn't it? And that's a real shame. But nevertheless, keep your eyes of Jens van der Eyden, the 254, who's now trying to battle away with the driver currently 2nd in the standings by a single point behind Lucas Schoenmakers. Is Kai Rilitz now coming under threat? But look at Colin van Lammeren going with them. Watch out for Nick Gerhards, who's not that far behind either. A few more overtakes happening a little bit further down towards the bottom part of the top 10, and that does involve the likes of Schoenmakers. Sam Bergstein in the 219, pole sitter from yesterday, goes up the inside of the 267 of Turn Schmidt to now take 11th position. And there is a 5-way scrap a little bit further behind being led, and that is a battle for 13th position, all the way down to stone dead last, being rounded out by, 17th, and that's Jori Schoens in the 226, and that's got Luke Neeson at the front of that train. So now Van der Eyden coming under threat as Van Lammeren now coming under pressure from Nick Gerhards. Nick Gerhards has now found some pace in the dry and is looking to consolidate a bit more performance. Tim Gerhards has the fastest lap of the race in the pocket on lap number 4 on a 57.673. So the pace is increasing, but also so is Gerhard's lead. Unless Max Knappen in the 248 has anything to say about it, it is slightly extended by 12 one-thousandths of a second. So we've got just over 7 minutes of this race remaining as Schoenmaker's up the inside of Martins there, going through into turn number 2. And that is for what will be 3rd place on the road. And at the minute, with 6 minutes and 47 seconds plus an additional lap still to go, Tim Gerhards leads by over 2 seconds. As problems for Nick Gerhards once again. They do say that lightning strikes twice, and unfortunately for that young man in the 206, it has happened again. We saw when he got turned around yesterday, did a 360 pirouette and then ended up shortcutting from turns 2 to 6 yesterday afternoon, and then waited for everyone to go past. And this battle royale that's now happening between Christian de Klein, Joy Breedveld, and now Sam Bergstein, and that's the battle for 9th place. Whereas Nick Gerhards is now stuck ahead of Turn Schmidt, so Nick Gerhard's outside of the top 10 as of now, as Christian de Klein gets past Joop Briefveld. Is now Sam Bergstein tries to mount the curbs and nearly sends that cart all four wheels into the air like Michael Knight and Knight Rider back in the 80s. However, he kept it on the asphalt, managed to keep going with de Klein, and is pulling alongside. Not just pulling alongside, he's powering past. And so is Joop Briefveld, who both get past through into turn number 7. And then just behind them, we've got Turn Schmidt in the 267, and there are 2 carts. There's not just him. Oh no! Christian de Klein put the blockers on the 267 of Turn Schmidt, and Schmidt had nothing, had a little bit of contact. It unsettled the back of the cart and it pirouetted it, and so Turn Schmidt now out of the battle for what would have been the lower part of the top 10. As there's some changes happening a little bit further up the order, as now Colin van Lammeren gets past Jan van der Eyden, who I think might have expired those Mojo tyres a little bit earlier in the race. So by having blitzed the field and gone up from what was 18th and stone dead last up to what is now going to be 7th position, Van Lammeren has now managed to take the opportunity to get past. As there's some more drivers trying to go up towards, I've seen Olivier Jonkers in there, and you've got Joris Schoens and Gilles Cloet just up ahead. So these drivers have got Mathis Turlo, I think that is, in the 242 Pirelart just behind. So Turlo going side by side with Jonkers. Now Jonkers last year raced as a junior. We've got just over 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. The gap between Gerhards and Knappen is now over 2.5 seconds. Sean Mackers, 4.3 seconds off of the lead. Martins, Gielets, Van Lammeren, Van der Eyden. Then we got Briefveld, Bergstein, and Luc Nielsen is up the inside of the 222 of Olivier Jonkers. Comes back the recovering Mathis Turlo, who was up in the top 5 in the early throws of this race. Fastest lap of the race so far is by Lucas Schoenmakers, who was over 0.5 of a second quicker than Max Knappen. So keep an eye on that gap at the moment. It's under 1.8 seconds between those 2 drivers. In the same stable at JJ Racing as is the driver in 5th position, Kai Gielets, in the 274, who is behind Thomas Martins for position. And the gap between them last time around was just over 1.2 seconds. Let's see if Kai Gielets has made an improvement. So Gielets now has gone quicker, and he's gone quicker than anyone else. The first driver out of the 18-strong field to drop under 57 seconds. A 56.866, and Gielets is just over half a second away from Thomas Martins. And they are going down the back straightaway into turn 7 off of the Europlan. So Gielets now starting to build some momentum, looking to get up into 4th place, having started on the outside of the front row in 2nd after qualifying. And Thomas Martins, let's not forget, he was on pole position as Gielets goes one way. Can't see a gap through turn 10. They're going to come out of the left-hander, and is Gielets going to get a good run? He looks to be upping the pace here, does the young Belgian, just 14 years of age, coming through the final corner. And now he gets a good slipstream. And that was a textbook maneuver from Gielets, just literally pulled out from behind Martins, pulled alongside, powered past, and that was it. Job done. Gielets now up into 4th place with just over 2 minutes to go. Some great workmanship when it all comes together with something like that, and when you've got the driver that is currently leading the Road Tax Max Euro Trophy standings in this category, that is something that is absolutely a joy to behold. It is it's a bit like, well, I would say music to my ears, but obviously you can actually see it. It's sort of like it puts a glint in your eye, so to speak, as we fast approach the last 90 seconds of this race. Tim Gerhards has a lead, a comfortable one. I think he's probably ended up going down the local motorway and ended up getting away from everybody else, because he's now, let's see what the gap is between him and Max Knappen, and watch out for Schoenmakers. Gap between them, 0.360 of a second. Schoenmakers puts in the fastest lap of the race and goes quicker than anybody, a 56 7.66. That was 12 1,000ths quicker than Kai Gielitz on that last lap. As now Schoenemakers goes up the inside for Knappen. Of Knappen for second place. And the pair is side by side, and in the inside of it is Max Knappen, who will get the inside line for turn 7. The 2.48 gets back up into second position. And even though we have 48 seconds on the clock, look how close Kai Gielitz is now. So Gielitz is not that far away from this duo battling away. He's about 1.7 seconds adrift. So after this, so we're getting towards the last 30 seconds of the race. And when they say that you're not talking about the leader is doing a fantastic job. And that is what Tim Gerhardt is doing to get his championship fight on track. As now Lukas Schoenemakers easily pulls past Max Knappen going into turn 2. But look at the gap. Gielitz is waiting to strike. A little bit further down the order, Van der Eyden has a little bit of a tussle with Joop Breedveld and has got Sam Bergstein for company. So it's down to Van der Eyden as to whether you're going to attack or you're going to defend. And that attack on Van Lammeren, I think, has just put him into the clutches of Breedveld. As now the leaders, the second, third, fourth place drivers. And it is a trio from JJ Racing with Knappen leading it. Schoenemakers in third place. And fourth is Kai Gielitz. So timer has expired. This time around, Tim Gerhardt will get the final lap board. So we go on to the 15th and final lap. And now the battle for second to fourth really heats up. Gielitz goes absolutely stomping his way past Max Knappen into third place through the kink at turn 1 and then made it stick by turn 2. Nicely done there by Gielitz. But Knappen, there was a little bit of a gesticulation there and definitely wants to look to get past the 2.74, but Gielitz is fast running out of time if he wants to try and mount an offensive on Schoenemakers. But he might might sort of think discretion is the better part of valor as we are on the final lap thereof. If it was a lap and a half, I'm sure that the team would probably say, well, you can race, but don't take each other out. Biggest rule in racing, never take out your teammates. But the checkered flag this time now is prepared. And coming across the line from SP Motorsport, it's the 2.05 of Tim Gerhardt, who wins by a commanding stretch. And second across the line, it is a Dutch 1-2, courtesy of Lukas Schoenemakers. Kai Gielitz in the 2.74 takes third place ahead of Max Knappen. And the gap between second to fourth was just under 3/10 at the end of the race. Thomas Martins, the pole sitter, takes fifth place ahead of Colin van Lammeren, with Joop Breedveld taking seventh ahead of Sam Bergstein. Jens van der Eyden would finish ninth, exactly halfway up the field from where he started when we started the race over 13 minutes ago. Christian de Klein in 10th. Nick Gerhardt would finish in 11th ahead of Luc Nielsen, Olivier Jonkers, Jorie Schoens, Teun Schmidt, Matty Serlo, René de Bruyke and Gilles Chloé, completing the 18-strong grid that all completed the 15 laps of the race.